Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is MTGGhoulDude, and once again we are going through another full set preview. So, this is the new Assassin's Creed set, with the, I guess you can call it the set abbreviation ACR. And this is a set that I've long awaited to see the just the littlest, all the little cards that they've decided to push in with the different effects and everything. So let's go on ahead and start off with probably some of the craziest stuff out of this set, starting with the Capitoline Triad. Probably the craziest thing about it is because it's a 10 colorless spell, and you can exile. Let's go on ahead and click into it. So, this spell costs one less for each historic card in your graveyard. Exile any number of historic cards from your graveyard with total mana value 30 or greater. So, you kind of want to be, throwing some really big creatures into your graveyard, especially historic creatures or historic cards. That includes, sagas, artifacts, legendaries, etc., etc. And then you get an emblem with creatures you control have base power and toughness 9/9, which is very wild. I wanted to comment on some of the cards of the games that I've seen, where they come from for people that may not know. But I do not remember running into the Capitoline Triad, so this will probably be something I would have to definitely look up, but it's definitely a super powerful card. All right, back to. I've heard a lot of people talk about the staff. The staff is pretty good. In my opinion, if you look hard enough, this reminds me of that one creature that gets +3, or it gets bigger, +4/+4, I think, if you have greater than 20 life. And it really reminds me of that creature so much, especially in the art, because of the Sarah Ascendant. I think that's what it is. And it's just pretty wild how they have that art and it collates with something like that. The only better part about this is that creature now, when it is equipped to it, it gets +5/+5 and has indestructible and prevent all damage that would be dealt to this creature. So really the only thing that can affect it is neg 1 abilities or something like that. So this could be a very powerful equipment, especially in, other builds. Haystack is a very, very old uh just trope of the Assassin's Creed games. It it's not always a haystack, but sometimes it's just the funniest little meme. Layla Hassan. This is the main character from the Origins set, from the Origins games. This is the character that dives into the Animus that relives the life of Bayek, which is pretty cool. Enters the battlefield whenever one or more assassins you control do combat damage to a player. Return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. That's a pretty neat ability. I mean, it's a 3/4 for 4, so I mean, if you can find a way to get it through, more power to you. And one that I am super glad that they decided to make a card for, and that's Senu, Keen Eyed Protector. For 1 and a white, this is a 2/1 legendary creature, Bird Scout, and it is a rare. When legendary creature you control attacks and it isn't blocked, if Senu is exiled, put it into the battlefield attacking. So you can tap it, exile it, you gain 2 life, and you scry 2 with flying and vigilance. So that's actually really cool. So you can swing in whenever you first get them, and then you find another legendary, and then he comes in attacking too. This Templar Knight is going to be a big breakout card from this set. I can see it now because White finally has their any number of cards creature. A deck can have any number of cards named Templar Knight. It's that little trope. So if you're looking to try and build a Templars deck, I hope you had bought up a bunch of different thrumming stones, so that way you can ripple them all off. And with an Oketra's Monument, this is only a white pip to play. So that's actually pretty cool. And then it also has a search ability. Tap a white and tap 5 untapped attacking creatures you control, and these all have vigilance, so you can do that ability. You control name Templar Knight, search your library for a legendary artifact card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Now we'll probably get to those, what probably will be the best artifacts, but we're going to keep going through the color pie. So what must be done is destroy all artifacts and creatures. This is a scene from the third game where Desmond activates the apple. It's a pretty it kind of wrenches my soul a little bit because that was a good game. Assassin's Gauntlet looks pretty neat. Ballad of the Black Flag. Become Anonymous is something that I really liked the art for. It's just a great art, and it portrays some of the coolest scenery and, you know, the cutscenes from the very first game. And it is a 4 mana instant. Exile target non-creature you own in the top 2 cards of your library in a face down pile. Shuffle that pile, then cloak those cards. They enter the battlefield tapped. This is pretty cool. Kind of like a Fact or Fiction, but you know, you're replacing a token or it says a non-token. Wow, I'm horrible at reading. But it replaces a bad creature with the possibility of, you know, 2 better creatures. The Crystal Skull Isu Spyglass. I feel like that's going to be a really good card, especially because it allows you to play a more legendary theme matters type deck, and it allows you to keep playing off the top. Desynchronization, which is a all non-historic board wipe, and that falls into the realm of just about any game where you play as the assassin, where you jump at the wrong time or you do something wrong and you desynchronize. It's pretty cool. Eagle Vision is a great mechanic to try and pull into the game. The ability to draw 3 for the possibility of 2 mana is actually really cool. They brought in the Fry twins. This one, the Evie Fry for 1 and a blue, partners with Jacob Fry, which I'm really glad that they did, but I feel like this is going to be one of the few ones that actually has partner with. Leonardo da Vinci. Oh my gosh, there's so many funny stories, just inside jokes between me and my wife about Leonardo da Vinci. But Leonardo da Vinci here has already been spoiled for months almost. And he's going to be getting his own serialized card along with different art, and it's pretty cool. And he is just a artifact Urza's best friend type card. Loyal Inventor is just like a cheaper, what are they called? It's the Treasure Mage cycle. I think that's what it's called. It's the different mages, wizards, or artificers that can search for artifacts, you know, at varying mana costs. We do get an Assassin's Initiate, which is pretty neat. The Chain Assassination, which is something that was pretty common in, you know, all throughout the games. And it's pretty cool. I mean, you could just keep going in the games. The Desmond Miles card is something that I was really looking to see how they did. And he gets +1/+0 for each other assassin you control and each assassin card in your graveyard, which kind of plays off his multitude of different lives he's lived throughout the game, giving him the ability for +1/+0 for each assassin in you control and in your graveyard. And when he deals damage, you surveil. So that could make that much more powerful. Being mono black, though, I don't know how I feel about a mono black assassin, though. I mean, there's plenty of them here, but I feel like Desmond could have been a 5-color, maybe a 3-color, maybe even a 4-color minus green, or maybe with green. I don't know. I'm not a good card designer, so it probably shouldn't be up to me how cards get designed. We get the Ezio Auditore De Firenze. I probably butchered that. But he would be the probably the best 5-color commander that we were going to be getting. We did get the Jacob Fry here whenever partner with Eevee for 2 and a black. It's a 3/2 legendary human assassin. Partner with Eevee. Whenever one or more assassins you control deals combat damage to a player, exile to one assassin card or card with free running in your graveyard. If you do, copy it. You may cast the copy. That's pretty wild, especially if you partner it with her ability, where you can draw a card and discard a card. So I mean, it just allows you to cycle through all of the different cards in your graveyard. Phantom Blade, I believe that one was from the the game where you played as an ex-assassin. I'm not for sure. Restart sequence, I can't tell you how many times I've seen the restart sequence in Assassin's Creed, the first game. Revelations of Ezio, I really wanted to see this one. It's a saga for 2 and a black. The first chapter, you destroy target tapped creature and opponent controls. It's pretty cool. Whenever an assassin you control attacks this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's whenever an assassin, so if you have 4 or 5, it's kind of like an anthem effect. And for the last chapter, return target assassin creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a +1 counter on it. That's pretty neat. I do love this art as it trails down from, where he began to getting more under his tutelage and at the very end. So I like the homage that it's paying to Ezio. Then we have Roshan, Hidden Magister. This is, I believe, the one from Mirage. So we will be getting a lot of those, which is pretty cool. Alexios, which is by far a better slicer that we've seen since we got Slicer, and you can't tell me this is not a better slicer. I looked at it and I seen it, immediately thought it was a better slicer. So look for this to be coming to your game tables in replace of Slicer. Hidden Footblade, which was probably from the Japanese set from the Japanese game. There was a side scroller that we seen that was a playable game that you could play as in China, I believe. But that's pretty neat that they incorporated some of these in there. The Monastery Raid, it's pretty cool. Origin of the Hidden Ones. I'm really just looking at these like for the first time with you guys if you've never seen them. Saga for 3 and a red for 1 at the first chapter. Origin of the Hidden Ones deals 4 damage to any target. 4 mana, 4 damage. This is pretty not bad, but it keeps going and getting better. Create 2 assassin creature tokens with menace. Okay. And the third chapter is whenever assassin you control attacks this turn, create an assassin that's tapped and attacking. So that's really cool. I really do enjoy this art that we're getting, and that assassin token's pretty cool. But yeah, I really do like the saga art on this card. I mean, it depicts pretty much the beginning of the Brotherhood or the origin of the Hidden Ones, quite literally. And we're gonna keep going down. Overpowering attack. Spear Leonidas is really good. I've looked at a bunch of different sites that are claiming this probably to be one of the more powerful jet-like artifacts that we've seen, especially since it's pretty much like a modal spell. Aveline de Grandpré for 2 and 2 green. 3/3 with Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on that creature. That's pretty good. Goes in a few good Finn the Fangbear deck. The archer viewpoint synchronization is a great homage to synchronizing at the different places in different games. Aid wall, breaker of chains, yields some comeback to the Black Flag DLC, which is a really good homage to that. Then we have a lot of the multicolored creatures that we'll be getting, like Altair, Arbaz Mur, Arno Dorian. I think that is the assassin killer, or maybe it's not. I didn't play a lot of that game, but we do get Aya, Basim from the Mirage, Bayek from Origins, Altair from the first game. I'll probably see the rest of them later. Cleopatra makes her debut into the Magic set, into Magic as a 2/4 human noble to buff up that, noble tribal we have getting ready to really just take off. Edward Kenway, Evior Wolfkist. We have a younger Ezio, Brash Novice, which is pretty cool. Javi the Allfather. This must be from the Odyssey game, most definitely. Edward Kenway is from Black Flag. Evior, if you don't know, is from Valhalla. The Cassandra is from Odyssey. Hatham Kenway is from Assassin's Creed 3. Mary Reed and Anne Bonny is a pretty interesting card, which is really cool because whenever you discard an island or pirate or vehicle card, you create a tapped treasure. It's pretty cool. Xiao Jun, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. From the Assassin's Creed China game. I do not know how to pronounce this correctly, and I hate it because Connor is one of my favorite assassins. I do not know where Lydia Fry is from. I think she is part of the why can't I remember? I love playing that game. I love playing that one particular game just like I did Origins. Oh, oh, I cannot remember. But yeah. Then we get Sigurd from Valhalla. Shay Cormac. Shay Cormac is the one that defected from the Brotherhood. And that's why he gets bounty counters and everything. That's why I was trying to figure out who was where. But Shay is the defector from the Brotherhood and joined the Templars actually. We get a Socrates, Athenian teacher, which is pretty neat. The ability kind of reminds me of like the rabbit that we got in Commander Legends. Still pretty cool. We got us a couple vehicles and legendary artifacts. Most notably the Animus. I always wanted to take a dive into the Animus. At the beginning of your instep, exile up to one target legendary creature card from your graveyard with a memory counter on it. Tap it until your next turn. Target legendary creature you control becomes a copy of target creature card in exile with a memory counter on it. Activate only as a sorcery. So probably the most thematic thing you can do is like get Desmond out there and have like Connor and Ezio and Altair in the Animus and like have him turn into transformed, kind of sorta. He becomes a copy of him, which is super neat. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on the Apple of Eden. Tap it, pay for life, sacrifice it, look at the top. Look at target opponent's hand and exile those cards face down. It pretty much allows you to do like the Esper commander that it allows you to take your opponent's hand. It's really reminiscent of that. But, I mean, they want to do cooler stuff with different things. But that actually, the apple is really reminiscent of its ability in the real game, because what it does is it takes control of a person's will. So it's not as bad as Emrakul, but I mean, your opponent won't get those cards back. You control those cards. So I mean, but they do get to refill their hand, but you still got to play their spells, especially if they had some good spells. Brotherhood Regalia. This is probably the scene from the Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Ezio. The Excalibur Sword of Eden, which is pretty neat. The Hidden Blade is probably going to be one of my go-tos. I've seen a lot of people speculate on Mjolnir Stormhammer. Like, is this just a way to tie in Marvel later on? Maybe. I wouldn't be too upset about it if it was. I mean, it would. Let's see what it does first. When Mjolnir enters the battlefield, attach it to target legendary creature you control. Whenever equipped creature attacks, tap target creature and defending player controls and put a stun counter on it. Then it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of tapped creatures that opponent controls. So if you're playing against somebody with this and they just swung out at you and you swing back at them, that could be pretty bad, especially if they have a whole army and you're just kind of holding on to this to swing at them afterwards. This could pretty much change the tide of a game, unless they had like lifelink, because then you just take them back down to where they were. Smoke Bomb for 3 generic is an artifact with flash. All creatures have shroud. This would be a great, like, in response to like somebody targeting all of your creatures. It'd be pretty cool. At the beginning of your upkeep, though, you sacrifice it, and when you do, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. It's very cool, very interesting. I love it. Staff of Eden, Vault's Key. This is one that I really have not seen. For 6 generic, it's a legendary artifact. When it enters the battlefield, put target legendary permanent card not named Staff of Eden, Vault's Key from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and you can tap it to draw a card for each permanent you control but don't own. So definitely fits into a lot of the stealing strategies if you want to, steal creatures and spells from your opponents or lands and stuff like that. This could go great, especially if you do that. If you're consistent with it and you don't just lose control of them later on. Towering Viewpoint is a nod to the jump, the leap of faith. Abstergo Entertainment. This is a pretty good land. Brotherhood Headquarters, another homage. Coastal Pirates, and these are going to be the reprints that we'll be seeing in the set. Path to Exile, Reconnaissance is just beautiful art. It fits it really well. Rest in Peace. Oh, that Rest in Peace is great. Propaganda, that's pretty neat. Temporal Trespass is a nice reprint, but not one that I was just really looking to get. Black Market Connections could always use more reprints. Conspiracy, which is an old card, kind of fits great in this deck. I don't like the art connecting to it, but at the same time, it still fits with the set. Coastal Piracy is pretty cool. Cover of Darkness. Now, that's a reprint we don't see very often at all, which still probably really good in my opinion. Go for the Throat Murder. Now, let me just say, I love the reprint of the Royal Assassin. It's amazing. It's great. The art is good. And it's just been a great card altogether since the last reprint is Dominator Remastered. I mean, it's $1 there. And the 30th Anniversary Edition is $14. I mean, nobody's picking that up, but still. And then we have the Magic 12, which is... looks like it's doing a little bit better. But yeah, the Dominator Remastered copy is $1.30, which is kind of blows my mind a little bit. Assassin's Trophy. I do not get why they keep reprinting Cathartic Reunion. I see it fit the name. The name itself fits the set, but I don't feel like that art is good for that card. I feel like it could have been better. I feel like Cathartic Reunion could have been something else. It could have replaced Cathartic Reunion with like Demand Answers, and Bayek is like threatening some. He's in the scene where he's finally loses his finger to the blade. I feel like that would have been a better scene for this one. The Assassin's Trophy is a good reprint. Mortify could have been a different reprint. Reconstruct History, I love this art. That art is gorgeous. Wonder if I can. That is just a beautiful piece of artwork. Oh, that's great. Terminate is a good reprint. I like it for the set. The swords, Light and Shadow, Feast and Famine. Feast and Famine itself is an amazing sword because in Origins they did have Kopeshes that, and there was one that you could get from a mission that did like poison damage. So this is, and it helped heal you. So that's a great tie into that. The Sword of Light and Shadow, this is probably from the Odyssey game, depending, seeing from looking at the art. And then we get the basic lands, which is beautiful and amazing. We get a plains from Origins, one from the original Assassin's Creed. We get an island from Black Flag and from Odyssey. We get the Bayou, which is probably going to be in a different game. Or probably from Black Flag. Maybe. The swamp here is from the industrial period. Man, I wish I could remember. Syndicate. There we go. I remembered it at the very end there of the video. A mountain, which I feel like this one is from the original game. A mountain from the Oriental game. Forests. These, I feel like that forest particularly right here is from the 3. And then we have the starter kit cards with Evior and Ezio Blade of Vengeance, which is still pretty cool. Battlefield, Detained by Legionnaires. That's Bayek right there. Enchant creature, attack or block. That's pretty cool. Escapement Fortress. Keen-Eyed Ravens, Settlement Blacksmith, Assassin's Den. It's a wall. Put a target counter on a target creature. You can't be blocked. Activate them. That's pretty good. Tranquilize. Hookblade Veteran. Brotherhood Spy. Brotherhood Ambushers. Free running Human Assassin 4 and a black. Free running for 3 and a black. Oh, it's a 6/3. It's just a big gaggle of them. Then we get the Head Splitter. And I do believe this is from Origins as well. The Merciless Harlequin. Brotherhood Patriarch for 3 and a black. Whenever it dies, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It's pretty neat. Labyrinth Adversary. This is definitely from Odyssey. Misthios' Fury. Spartan Veteran. Surtur. Fiery Jotun. For 3 and 2 red, this is a giant god warrior legendary creature for all those that like them giants. 5/5 with trample. Whenever you cast a heroic spell, deals 3 damage to any target. Wow. So if you just load up on mono red or whatever, if you could find a way to just cram your deck full of historic spells, that'd be amazing. Because that's 3. It's a lightning bolt to any target. It's pretty cool. Oh, I'm Southern. Burrow Headmaster. There we go. I was going to get there eventually. White and a red. Equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Equip abilities to activate cost 1 less to activate. Wow. That's pretty good. Our Achilles Davenport. Free running, menace. Other assassins you control get +1/+1. That's pretty good. Ravenclaw War Axe Rooftop Bypass for 1 and 2 blue enchantment. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control do combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with menace. There it is. There's always a path. I like that. Then we're getting reprints of the tap lands, the slow lands. Still pretty cool. I love the art. And here's some of the regular art. And this is something that I really wanted to see. I seen a full picture of it, but I didn't get to see the whole picture of it. But this is a full panorama of all the lands in a scene, and it looks beautiful together. And I do like how they kind of tied these into the different ones, and it is beautiful. Then we get these borderless cards and the serialized cards, which each of these, like the Leonardo, the Cleopatra, and the Socrates, will all be serialized with their own. If they're serialized, they'll be in their own language. So that's very neat to see, because you can get a regular one and you can get a serialized one. So that's still amazing. I'm hoping to get enough product to where I can see and maybe get one of these of my own. Yggdrasil Rebirth Engine. It's pretty neat art. Light and Shadow. The Feast and Famine has a great art. It's still pretty cool. Apple of Eden. So awesome. And then we get to the showcase cards, which are the Memory Corridor showcase cards, which I find like the Layla, the Senu, those are all pretty cool. I like the Eevee and the Jacob. Alexios has some badass art. Desmond is kind of iffy. I feel like they could have did better with Desmond. Altair has some great art. Wonder if they put Shay. Oh my gosh, Bayek has some great art. That's amazing. I like that art. I love that art. Aya, it's pretty cool. Edward. Connor. That's some pretty cool art too. Then they even gave Shay one, which is pretty neat. And then we're all going to get them all. We have a select number that are in textured foil. And then we're going to get extended arts of cards from the main set also. And yeah, these are the serialized that we'll see. Then we're going to get etched foils. I mean, there's many ways to collect this set. And I'll be damned if I don't try and get all of them. At least one of every copy of every card. Because, I mean, this is the set that I never thought I would ever get to see. And I finally get to see it. I mean, cards like the Mjolnir, I probably wouldn't care to not to get. But I'd still get it because it's in the set. Ooh, that Royal Assassin looks great. I like that art a lot better. But that's probably a bundle. Yeah, that's the bundle. If it'll let me see it. Yeah, that's going to be the bundle card that you get from in the boxes, which is still amazing art. And it'll probably be foil, so. But that's and this will be the buy a box promo card, which I am so excited to see, because this is like an iconic moment for me, because I loved Origins. But that is going to be it. We have reached the bottom of the Scryfall page. What do you guys think of the set? Are you excited for it? If you're ready for it, are you ready to just wait for it to be over with so we can get ready for Bloomburrow? I'm kind of peaked excited for Assassin's Creed, and I really hope I get to open up a bunch of product from it. But that is going to be it for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time in the graveyard.